Well, now is time to answer your legal questions, so be sure to call or text us at 256-536-0077. We're here with Michael Timberlake from Timberlake, League & Brooks, and he's joining us now. Thank you, Michael. How are you?
Great to be here, even in the cold.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we've got a lot to talk about today. We're talking about end-of-the-year planning for taxes, 401k plans, and gifts. We actually have a text right now. Somebody asked they're getting married this weekend and wondering if they should file their taxes jointly or separately next year.
Yeah, I mean, it's December 1st, so it's, you got 1 month left to try to do all the things you can do before the end of the year, and tax planning is one of those things you need to pay attention to. With the understanding that I'm not an accountant or a tax expert, more than likely you're going to get benefits by filing jointly, and you can do that in the year that you get married. So it's more than likely going to be something you want to file jointly with. But I would talk with your CPA or whoever does your taxes to make sure that benefits you, because I think you can file separately if you want to.
Absolutely.
But in general, what people need to think about at this point in time of year is what are you going to do? You want to look at if you have a retirement account, you want to look at that. You want to make sure that you've got the appropriate person designated as the beneficiary on your retirement account. So God forbid something happens to you, it goes to the person that you want to, and not somebody maybe like your ex-wife that you don't necessarily want that to go to. So that's one of those things you want to look at. You want to make sure that if you have a retirement account, you're maxing out the contributions to the extent that you're able to do that to get the benefit of that account in the calendar year, because it stops at December 31st. Same thing with gifts. If you want to take care or pass money down to your children or your relatives or whoever in your family to establish legacy, you need to go ahead and make that gift before the end of the year. Federal law allows you to pass almost $20,000 down to any individual or any number of individuals per individual in a calendar year. So you can pass a lot of money down without any tax implications, but you can only do that within the year.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. So, there's a certain limit on how much you can pass down before you have to start paying taxes. So, if somebody is looking to pass some kind of money or, even something bigger like a house or, a car, what are some of the routes that they can take to make sure that they don't have to, cut half of that in half?
Sure. Yeah, I think that what you're going to do is you're going to meet with somebody that's an estate planner and kind of figure out what you can do. Mm-hmm. Gifts are easy. You can pay gifts of tax. It's almost $20,000. But to the extent that you get to the point where you're transferring larger property, you need to have a plan to make sure that you don't run awry of any tax laws.
Absolutely, that's definitely a good thing to have something in order.
Absolutely.
Always, absolutely. So, do you have anything else just about with the holidays coming up and gifts?
We got Howie.
Yeah,
Howie's called before. What's up, Howie?
Hey, I've got a situation. I purchased a house about 2.5 years ago from a single owner at a sheriff's sale, and I haven't taken possession of the property. But the person has a couple of weeks ago filed Chapter 13 bankruptcy, and they listed me as an unsecured creditor for the amount of the money I paid to the sheriff. And I want to know if this goes through and they pay the trustee, do I have to accept the money? And if I don't take it, can I still, during this 5-year period, can I file ejectment against her and get her out of the property?
That's probably one of those things you're going to have to engage with the bankruptcy trustee to figure out what your rights are. They listed you as an unsecured owner of the property, which means that you would not necessarily, or an unsecured creditor, which means you wouldn't have any collateral. But it sounds like from the way that the property was purchased that you may actually be a secured creditor because you have interest in that property. So I'd consult with a bankruptcy attorney and then talk with the trustee to make sure that you're classified as the appropriate creditor in that situation.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
Thank you, Howie.
So I mean, everybody needs to, take the time in December, you can look at your tax situation, you can look at your insurance, look at your deductions, so that your expenses that you've paid throughout the year, medical, healthcare costs, things like that, that can be deductible. Go ahead and get that lined up, and so that you can go into the new year and hit it strong.
Yeah, I don't want to have any other worries.
Right, absolutely. If something's deductible and it's an expense, go ahead and do it.
And if you didn't get your question answered, we do have to remind you, of course, that you can always call our friends over at Timberlake, League & Brooks. Thank you, Michael, for joining us today. And don't forget, they also have a blog on their website if you were interested. And you can always text or call 256-536-0770 if you have any questions. Alrighty, we'll be right back.